something like Premiere. It's in-game. You can have that organized setting. You have setup practices in there as well, and you really can get that experience so you don't feel a little bit too cold going into the winter semester, if you will. But I think that just going into this one, right, it's a best of one. We're going to have 2 series on the day. I think don't overthink things, right? Just keep on moving. Go with what you know. If things don't start to maybe go in your favor, that's when you can try some newer things. And as well, we've got timeouts. Don't forget to use them. Thinking can also be a good thing as long as you don't do too much of it. And yeah, I mean, just feel out the day. It's the first week. Try something.
The first week, many more still to come. Just to, again, break down our slate, we've got 2 best of ones throughout the day today. We'll start with Central Buck South versus Central York High School, and then we'll follow that up with our matchup at 4:15, which is Wyoming Valley West versus Spring Grove area. Now, if you're familiar with Overwatching, kind of how we did the map selection there, it's pretty similar here. The teams don't actually get to pick or ban the different maps. We're just going straight through the pool. So if there is a weakness on one of your maps, hopefully you've shored it up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and that prevents teams who maybe would want to like insta-ban a map like Breeze with the longer gun range. Well, you're going to play it at some sort of time, so be ready. That also means that you can specifically focus on practices for one map, right? Anti-stratting, although it's, maybe not the most footage on the other teams, you can still say, hey, this is what we're typically going to see. Here's how we can address it. And those protocols will start to show up that allow you to be successful.
Well, we're hopping on in. It is Abyss for our map number 1 pool. And you mentioned Breeze. It's actually kind of funny. I feel like the 2 toughest maps in the map pool are what we start out with. We get Abyss in week number 1. We get Breeze in week number 2. So it's going to be a lot of shakeup to start out as we're into Agent Select.
Would it be Corrode in week 3? That would do everything.
It is Bind in week 3.
Okay, Bind's a little bit more confusing, but still, yeah, let's take a look at these team comps here. I'm seeing double Sentinel already locked in. That's going to be the KJ and the Chamber. I would say not traditional, but not something super frowned upon because you have a lot of space to work with. Your Chamber can scale up in mid, your KJ can anchor down sites, and the rest is going to be basically a core fighting for space. On the other side, you have something that's a bit more brawly. They're going to go for pop plays, scaling up quietly in a main or something like that, and then just popping out with a Rhino Blind, KO Knife, all of that good stuff. And the Sage, be handy on defense for teams that like to run it down, but might have their hands full against double Sentinel. It's not going to be a fast game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to slow it down really well. And I think on the other side, too, you also look at the extra life composition. I always love to see a Clove and a Sage combo together because you can just go with infinite players, rush a site, technically 7v5 with all those extra lives. And then I think the KO is going to be one of the most consequential of their entire team. That dagger they've got in their inventory that can shut down abilities can completely open up a site. Or if they want to push down mid and fight that Chamber, they can make him pretty useless.
Don't forget, KO also has a Resurrect, so that's 8v5 if you think about it there as well. Yeah, definitely some things that they probably didn't choose the comp for, but certainly a bonus of it. We'll start to see how these buys lay out as the timer dwindles on down. A posture for this attacking side of Central York. For the defense, going to be a bit more defaulty with a Chamber trip in mid, and actually 2 people scaling into mid early, recognizing that this space is really, really critical on this map. Actually, just an A split.
They're going to start out for some mid pressure, and for Central York, I like the idea that they're going to investigate things a little bit early for Nays. They've got long shots, and they've got the first blood of the day, opening up with a headshot on the Reyna. Taking down Bubbles is pretty huge. It's a lot of healing on the back pocket, and Brill will be the next to be taken down. So for Central Buck South, they back up, they give themselves space, and they've taken a 2-for-1.
I was going to say that overheal would have been really, really nice on the Reyna, but it looks like they might have broke a line of sight, and well, that overhealth, it won't matter if you're dropped to 0, hitting the floor. Now going to need a bounce back here in a 3 versus 3. Time to bank up, and having a right click would have done it, but no. Instead, a ghost shot through the wall, taking them down, making this a 2 versus 3. And that time ticking away, positioning's looking pretty good for Central York. And yeah, too many angles to clear. Psy Nightmare can only do so much here. And well, it's going to look to just salvage whatever they can. Maybe hold for an exit. They're walled off in CT, and that's as good as it's going to get, I think, for you.
Pull out the dagger, maybe see if they can find something extra. But at the moment, again, that spike continues to dwindle down on timing and will force everybody else out. Ready to go. Psy Nightmare is just trying to see if they can take some bodies with them, and they will. Nobody survives, but it's Central York with a round 1 victory.
And for those of you that maybe are a little bit newer to Valorant, you could say, "Oh, why did they all go down? Don't you like need to save your guns?" Well, it's a pistol round, and you're gonna get, if you save, about 1,000 credits, which at that point you can really only rebuy the shield. By actually going down to the bomb there, you are going to have that extra wad of cash from your win bonus or from your loss bonus, depending on which side you're on. And so it's good that everybody went down in that scenario so they can have a lot more credits to buy whatever they do please. Hatsune Moose here with a Guardian.
Central Bucks bought up a little bit. They didn't fully force and spend every dollar they have, but Bubbles definitely with the better weaponry on the force up from Central York here in this round number 2. Great shots from Maestro, who finds the outlaw kill onto Psy Nightmare. Here's the quick hit, and that's the refresh on the HP from Bubbles. They've got the blind out as well, and this is realistically a 5v1, a 4v1 over on site. The KJ is doing what they can, but that swarm grenade will only keep you alive for so long. Just a sheriff to work off of. Hits the shot, but Maestro hits theirs too.
Yeah, just too many angles to look at there. I mean, valiant attempt. You do what you can. You go down with the ship, as we call it. And, well, they've gotten just a little bit of damage. Now, to break some more shields would be nice here for this CB South side, but it looks like Bubble is just going to shred you on down with that Spectre. That's 3 kills for them and a flawless round.
Bubble's a really good and aggressive round. I like that they didn't just wait off of that first takedown from the Outlaw. They were actually able to force the issue, get inside the site, and then follow things up by taking down both Naze and Ghost, who had gotten kills in that first round duel. Now, interestingly enough, because Jason forced up a little bit, will be buying into that lesser scoped rifle, while the rest of the team buys into those full rifles.
I think they have enough to go, for a Vandal if they do so choose. I think it's just the preference here of going for the Outlaw, playing that Chamber character where you can get that one shot off and then teleport away. Be really nice if they come to your site. The problem is that they have not here in this scenario. 4-man toward A, 1 towards mid, just making sure no funny business happening there. But this is just going to be a hard execute with these Clove Smokes coming out. Bubbles, spraying and praying. 1 bullet would have done it, but instead not maybe expecting the second player. We'll see how this shakes out.
I like those smoke plays. I mean, it gives Central York so much space, and Bubbles has isolated the close range. Hatsune Moose has found the double kill in the round, and Central York only loses 1. Jason Long in a great spot, though, to crunch this up. As Ghost finds the headshot, they've lost control of their spawn side. Jason Long's position is known, but for Central York, they've got to fight this together as Jason Long finds the double. Brill will find them, and now it's all down to the Outlaw. The pistol teleport out of danger, but still finds it. The 3K, a 1v1 versus the Yoru.
Yeah, 1 versus 1. Illicit. Yeah, I'd be careful peeking that. And again, you can survive 1 outlaw shot. So take your time with this play. Make sure, even if they get it to half, you are aware of your win condition, and Illicit makes it good as gold. It'll be a headshot to finish the round. Bonus conversion for Central York. And of course, those credits will be now skyrocketing.
The credits are an interesting part about this gameplay. Of course, that economy, a big part of the Valorant meta overall. And realistically, because Central Bucks South did fight into that round, they don't have the most money, but they want to force up here to try and do some damage. They are down 3-0. And, this is sometimes a tough map to operate on the defensive side because of how many just squirmishly good angles there are through mid. Central York, though, on a 3-round streak. They want to go fast here with the blind. They've got the Yoru as well for some of those extra blinds as well. And Bubbles is just going to set it up here. There's a player on the low box, but other than that, it's Ghost who has to really defend everything. And Brillicet will find the first takedown, and they've smoked off Heaven.
I like that flash TP play for the entry harder into B this time instead of the A, making sure you change things up here and there. And then Bubbles, of course, to follow up if that flash TP goes horrendously wrong, which it does not, though. So there they go in with that man advantage. Now make that to Central York right now, up 5 players to 3. Almost one more head clean shaven off, but no, it's Maestro to get the pick instead. Nace just 1 HP hanging on for dear life. That's not going to last long. And now You've got one guy sitting in spawn. Turtle give away the positioning as well. Bubbles maybe just playing smart. Even a Bucky shot rings out, so now you know exactly how you need to play this. If you want to get silly and swing it, go for it, but it looks like they are just going to play relatively safe. Swing the smoke wide and get the kill. Bubbles very methodical with it right now, and it's paying off as their team still yet to drop a round.
Yeah, really, really good start here, and flawless on that last round also helps boost the economy. You talk about stacking that up round over round, and again, those names are swapped. Central Buck South is going to be on that attacking side, so they're up that 4-0 to start here. But man, Central York has given them some tough angles to deal with. I like how fast Central Bucks have been to be able to get these hits going, and I mean, look at the ultimates. They're almost ready on every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you don't need to use excessive force to win yourselves rounds. When everyone's getting a piece of that pie, when it's a kill, a plant, things like that, you're going to have ways to just spread the wealth in terms of those ult orbs. Be careful, though. There's a player swinging out wide. It's Naze. That's a flash in the air. It doesn't catch on to Naze, though. Instead, the spray's good. However, traded out. Still, though, very, very good for Central York there. 2 for 1. You have a Sentinel on the site. Now just don't over-rotate off that B. Make sure you still have the Space Gang because they're not hitting. You know this. So make sure to keep your eyes on other parts of the map, and they don't. Bubbles will catch you off guard if you're not looking.
Bubbles has been incredible. I mean, you talk about starting with that SMG gameplay. Now just here with the Vandal continuing to rip through their life force. Central York once again reduced to 3. However, they've got Jason Long alive, and that Chamber who has been so consequential. Bubbles is going to get the plant down, and they're going to be reinforced by that position of Hatsune Moose straight through mid, who's got that rifle and the damage on the KJ.
I like this pause, but it is going to burn a lot of time. The player Chamber swinging in from Central York over towards that B side, just not in time. Hatsune Moose realizing their win con decides to take away the life of the KJ sitting in spawn, and Bubbles does the rest. That's 3 kills for them. And again, CB South yet to drop a round through 5. You might want to start thinking about a timeout or thinking about what's going wrong in terms of your raw game plan as opposed to maybe just those gunfights not going your way.
Yeah, my general rule is after 4. That's usually my limit, but I also understand that round was close. I mean, it came down to 2 players. It came down to a clutch from Bubbles, so maybe you just trust this economy a little bit more. Jason does have that ultimate ready to go, but isn't going to get a backup weapon, so Tour de Force may be the only thing they're bringing into this one, and that is it. The good news is the Chamber has their ultimate. The bad news is they are once again on that wrong site, as the Yoru is going to send the Dimensional Drift straight to the back line.
Yeah, beautiful play and beautiful timing out by Naze. You have to credit that, waiting for that Dimensional Drift to kind of fly on by and then jumping out of on timing in heaven. It's great, but so are these trades. Back and forth we go, and when the dust settles, it looks like it should have been CB South clean, but now still a 2 versus 1. They do have that upper hand. Spike not down yet, but should be plenty of time for them to realize where this player is at, or at least double up and go for some sort of play.
Still 60 seconds to go. They do need to get that spike planted, and that's what Mickey is going to do. It's going to be a 1v1 at the back of side, and Tom DeBank will look for the 1v1 against Hatsune Moose. It is a 2v1, but for Central York, they definitely don't have the health advantage. It's also a Clove, and it's a team ace. Every single one of them gets a kill. The headshot does the final bullets, and that was a chaotic round, but Central Buck South just found their way through it.
I think I'm going to start paying attention more to this defensive hold of Central York. We're seeing them right now go out on timings for A. They're not essentially playing a hard retake. They're playing a sort of flood retake, and while sometimes that is good, when you're constantly doing it over and over, it does become somewhat predictable. And Central Bucks South, because they are kind of just 5-man deathballing or 4-1ing, they have that ability to fight back. It's okay if they don't get the spike down because they're getting these frags, and they have the time after that dust settles in order to get themselves the win. So Central York, I think making sure you can get those easy picks for yourselves will go well, but Jason Long, yeah, not going to be in the picture for this one. The operator does not pay off for their side, instead the other.
Really good metal there on the back line too. Forces Tom DeBank out after they get dropped down to just 10 HP. They've got that regen shield, so there's a possibility to refrag, but Bubble says no. It's already 2 going the way of CB South, and for Central York. They've only got 3. They don't have a ton of time either. So will they try and send it? It looks like it for Nays. They're going to be the first point of this spearhead. Already that Empress still active. And Central Bucks, even if things go wrong, they've got 2 more Resurrection ultimates to work with. Maestro is in every single shot that goes their way. A double kill for them. And Central York is just walking into the crossfire. Deer in the headlights. And it's flawless.
What in the TikTok shorts, Maestro? The opping Sage, you know what? I'm all for it. If it's going to pay off, if it's going to give us some nice content, I want to see some more of it. Jason Long, however, on the operator as well. On the chamber, the other side, I want to see some more from them as well. Even if it's just op battles, go for it. But I want to see this op get posted on aggressive lines, giving them the early space instead of that situation you just saw where they get picked in heaven, and that's the site anchor completely gone after that space has already been given. Things to think about with that space management. Central Bucks South, I think they're just going, hey, let's just shoot them in the face because it's working so far. We just got to go to a site, commit to it as 5, and if we get scared, it's fine. We can rotate as 5.
I really love their communication, all the chaos. It feels like even though they lose members almost every single time they enter the sites, they feel it's okay because they're getting even trades. And if they're getting even trades, they're going to get a plant down. And once they get the plant down, they just have full control and ways to decide it. Central York deciding not to send somebody up mid this time. Brillicid will sit waiting around in case anybody goes over aggressive, but this could be a really big hit with only 2 players on B.
I was going to say, did that alarm bot just get recalled? And maybe there wasn't even an alarm bot to begin with. Just the Molly, the Nano Swarm over towards that close right corner. Hello. There you go. Been spotted. And it's Hatsune Moose to make sure the shots do land. 1 player remaining here, and I have a general idea of who it is. This chamber's always been in the B heaven angle, but they're taken down. Maestro with the op again. That same mirror battle from before goes their way, and so do the rest of them. Bubbles has a player pinned, swinging off of blind timing, hoping to maybe get fancy with it, and instead it's the player going and taking Bubbles down. Maybe a bit of a lapse in the judgment, but either way, Central Bucks South continue their domination up to 8 rounds.
Maestro's got themselves 4 kills on that operator in just the last 2 rounds alone, and Central Bucks South have been playing very clean. The aggression, the fast hits, and even that starter play. I mean, you talk about the little things from Hatsune Moose, pushes that metal, forces the first kill to go their way, and it's just those little give-and-go moments that stack up to everything. Central Bucks South have already guaranteed this half win. Now let's see how many more they can get.
I low-key like this setup. I like the KJ towards A. They can kind of have this kill setup to where if they need to play retake, they can. They're doing a decent amount of damage on the way in. However, this judge spotted as the execute tries to come through. It's Hatsune Moose to pick up 1 somewhere. I think that was in mid as they start to pinch towards this A site. And these defenders should start feeling a bit of pressure. However, look at this player lurking at flank. It's a chamber. The shots do, in fact, land. It was a Spectre. It was a little risky, but still ends out working. And they're going to dip a Rooney because don't overheat. You got your 1, you got out, and you have the space.
It's also a big one to get. Naze is going to find that shotgun kill on Hatsune Moose. You took down the Sage first. That means no res. Naze finds a triple kill, and it's all down to Bubbles. Clutch or nothing. Now the spike is left completely in no man's land. The problem is Bubbles might just be the GOAT. There's a double. Jason Long says sit down with the operator. First round win from Central York.
Well, I was thinking about if this was a 13-0, I could say there's only up from here. Well, there's your first uptick. So now we got to take that momentum, keep on going with it. What worked in that round? Let's try and replicate it. And what did they do? It was a flank up B. It was perfect. It was essentially default. They kind of showed a little bit of mid. They had a sentinel towards A main, and they scaled up B main. It's perfect.
And now they've got 3 ultimates. I think that for Central York, this could be the round that they start to swing things around. They've also got that double sniper setup with that operator and outlaw combination. The problem is 4 players here for Central Bucks South could ruin everything they want to do on this entry. I mean, all that KJ utility is just beautiful, and that recon bolt may delay their decision.
I don't even know where that recon bolt came from. Must have been off the back wall on a bounce. It was great. This KO ultimate, though, is not going to make things easy for these players on site. Yeah, Psy Nightmare feels the pain, the pinch, and decides to swing on out. The teammate not going to help them. Bait setup, though. It's Naze in back sight, and they're doing a great job. However, It looks like the one player under Heaven one-wayed by their opposing Glove, and will decide to kind of reset here in this 3v3 scenario with this lockdown being placed towards the A site.
No players detained there, and Central York doing a good job to push them off of it. I think for Central Buck South, they've got a really good turnaround, though. Nobody's rotating fast enough. Long will try and get there, but it is just 3 players of Central Buck South that are going to get there. Again, Rez still available, Empress also available, but Central York, they've got some ultimates of their own.
This push-up really good from Bubbles. I'm glad it's the Reyna, because that dismissibility, really great to isolate that one and then get out, not overheat. Yeah, just flanking up, not aware in any way. Bubbles on for the ace, actually, if they can land these shots, but Peace down to 26. It'll be Naze back the other way, them on for the ace as well, and has the res, so it's going to go in first here, most likely. 15 bullets in the gun, 11 in the clip, spots the first. Operator down. Maestro cannot do it all for themselves today. Instead, one player left, spotted on out, 1 bullet required, and there it is. That's the ace. Central York will pick up their 2nd round of this map.
Pretty close on the spike defusal, 5.5 seconds towards the end of it, but a good ace. I mean, incredible stuff. Jason Long gets caught here on the backside, just trying to focus down that 1v1 battle, but Central Buck South got way too overconfident here. They gave 1v1v1 after 1v1v1 and continually gave Central York this opportunity to fight it. And for Naze, just smart shooting, takes the high ground. This kill was going to go their way either way, but finding the ring around the rosy straight into each other, just phenomenal.
Yeah, hypothetically, that blind catches on. They whiff all the rest of the bullets in their clip. Their teammate is there to save them. Beautiful crossfire when it's all set up and done. CB South, though, still working themselves up with a great lead towards the beginning. Even though they dropped 2 rounds, still pretty dang good position for them to be in. I'm a little bit worried that the spike has been tagged, and that TP will have been scanned, by the way. So it's not just free information of a free bait towards A. No, that scan has been located in spawn. Now, why the rotate's not coming through, they might have some sort of read, but it's Jason Long, that's who they trust, and the operator, a pretty good gun to work with. They'll get 2, the res will come through, but nobody there to really punish, so they'll end up falling down again.
Yeah, Hatsune Moose is not going to be able to rotate over to get that kill in time, and unfortunately just could not get the job done on the assist either. So a 3v4 here. Spike is down, but Maestro once again has to be big with his Vandal. They've kind of blocked out from behind. Mickey will find themselves a double, but guess who's back? It's Naze, back from the dead again. A 3v3, and this time their ult may get some use.
90 HP effectively. Gonna need to land some more shots, but again, now dwindling down to 40. That's 1 bullet from a Vandal. We'll take it on down. Of course, the operator will do that as well, but Maestro lands it with the rifle this time. Brillistic getting in on the action. Now just 1 player to go, and 6 bullets. A Dream. Side Nightmare might just have to get out of dodge. Runs out of bullets in the way, and well, that'll be Maestro going down as well, but Central Buck South still advancing on this lead that they've worked up with in the beginning.
Their lead keeps building, and they've built up already 7 rounds. Central York looking to make it 6 here as they try and close out the final round of this first half. One thing I will mention, Naze is having a heck of a day. 14 and 12 in the positive, and 1 assist to tag alongside that. And as a Clove, if you're fragging really well, you get access to that ultimate sooner rather than later. That can make your team fights just so much easier.
Aggressive trip towards B. I mean, a very traditional one at that, but looks like they have this Killjoy walkout set up with main control. It's kind of disjointed utility, but it is to kind of work against the multiple different stages. Naze, a little bit whiffy on the Cologne there, but it just prevented them from getting blind earlier. It's tactical, we'll call it. The Odin, though, paying off there. It looks like we've got Brock in the server today for those who watch VCT, and well, we've seen operators, Odins, shotguns. What else can we find? Bubbles. Looks like Hatsune Moose as well. Mickey, everybody getting on the action this round, and now just down to a tour de force in spawn. Best of luck, Jason.
There's the first. Okay, hold on. 3 more. Oh, well, there goes the tour de force. I guess you got to do it with the Vandal instead, and just the pure shooting capability. Central Buck South are going to pop 2 of their remaining ultimates. Spike was planted a little bit late, so if you can isolate this shot to the right side first, that will change everything. But Flash going out here. Mickey He's got it covered. Nice setup from Jason Long. Takes down the Maestro. Now it's a 1v2. Can you get the spray? No, you can't get Bubbles down first. Double digits as Bubbles leads them into the victory formation.
For a 1v4, honestly, that was a pretty dang good effort. You have to applaud for what they did at least muster up. Central York, though, when they start to kind of flip over to this attack side, we have some worries, right? They do have this double Sentinel comp. Statistically, based on what we know, Sentinels are better on the defense. Maybe they're just built different, and we've got Battle KJ, Battle Chamber. That second one may be a little bit more traditional, but you're starting to look at them and say, okay, well, what plans do you have in store? Was it all your eggs in one basket for that defense, or do you have something cooked up that we just can't see behind those long sleeves?
That's the question. Obviously, best of one here, so no real chance to go to another map, and this is one of the newer, tougher maps, I will say, with a lot of exposed and open angles, so Central York, definitely a lot to work off of, but this pistol round really could define a lot. Central Bucks South have that ability to just push the issue even more, and watching here towards that B site, they've already got control of that left side from Central York. The question is, Bubbles can only get one, so Ghost has got that healing ability. The problem is they don't have spawn covered.
I love how they look down at the soul orb thinking that it was their own trying to dismiss or overheal. Turns out it was the enemies. I don't play Reyna, but I'm sure that's happened many times. Relicit, though, bandit moment. One of the newer guns in the game, in fact, the newest to date, but now we're going to need to land a few more shots in order to see this highlight reel keep on clicking. 2 bullets in this chamber. No way you're going for the knife. Well, it wasn't the knife that landed. Instead, the shot from Hatsune Moose, but still, another pistol for Central Bucks South, bringing them just breathing distance from a victory.
And it's a better retake. I mean, you talk about the way that they encroached from their ability to just run super quick. That's what Abyss allows you to do, is just find these incredible flank angles. And right now for Central Bucks South, they've got an incredible amount of money. They've got really the driver's seat here in terms of this series. And for Central York, they've got to find something. So they're forcing up into some SMGs. They're seeing what they can do with some Marshals. And you know what? I don't hate it. Bubbles hasn't bought yet, but hasn't bought a shield.
Let's see what's going on here. Nope, just Naked Sheriff. All right. Oh, Bandit, actually. I think they traded with someone, something of that sort. Wait, this is the other team. That would make sense. That's what I'm looking at. Thank you, Observer. But there you go. One player up into heaven. Gonna take their Marshal shot and get out of dodge. Not gonna happen. No value exchanged, but because this plant is going down, this is gonna favor Central York. However, that pick in the back lines will be much better for CB South.
That new Bandit, getting to see the looks of it. And the Ghost coming through here from Hatsune. You do wonder from Maestro how much damage they can do. It's the Moose that falls next down. Central Bucks South are in a great spot. The health bars from Central York are just so low. Naze at least gets one of the SMG, but the drop down pistol straight to the dome. Already has the signature ability back. Jason Long gets one through the wall, and maybe a few more bullets could do it, but only 8 HP to fight it. Blinded and taken down. That's a 3K from Burlicit, and Central Bucks South, they're on series point.
A little winnable if you can see the vision there, but certainly no expectation to clutch that out. Nice efforts all around there. But Central York now going to be facing that map point as well. And now you start to worry. I mean, you've been worrying for a while. They had a 2-round stretch where all was good, and then it was back to the same old CB South domination. What can they do in this, well, what was a proposed bonus round, but since the force up kind of came through, you have a wishy-washy buy for Central York. The gun, the weaponry, not exactly even. Let's see who the star power can bring in here, and if we have a clutch or some solid team play to get them one more life.
Everything on top of it right now has to be perfect, and from Ghost and Tom, it absolutely is. They started out swinging for that. Yeah, absolutely did.
We love to see it.
I mean, they're up +2 now. All right, that's one of the best starts they've had all day.
And the pivot to B, by the way, is also great. You get those picks A main. The defense is immediately going to panic. They're going to start rotating over towards A because they're going to want to search for a fight. Bubbles, though, taking the space in mid is a nice play, but Central York should still have this upper hand unless Bubbles can miraculously find one more isolated. And it looks like they have Tom kind of blinded on up, didn't know where to go, and so there will be a player in this window area that just can't help them quite yet. It's Psy Nightmare making the noise. They are going to give away their position. Bubbles will just do all the work, though, leaving it to just Psy Nightmare, who has to actually fight for this. Spike spots out the one player. Aries going to go in the mix, just not going to land the bullets. Maestro with the final kill. CB South take this match 13-2.
Defenders win.
They start off super quick, and then their ability to close out, to retake sites, to be able to get the job done through everything. They are the victors on Abyss, and you know, they also start at the season in this 1-0 category for Central York. I mean, Nays had an incredible day. Jason Long as well. Both end up in the top 4, and they've got a lot to build off going into this season.
Yeah, it was nice to see different players stepping up in certain rounds. Like, obviously, there were some kind of repeat names of Nays and Bubbles, but you had really nice rounds from players, even if they didn't get the kills. I'm thinking players like Mickey with those entries, popping their ult, using the knife, getting that information, with Brillicit going in for those dimensional drifts, things like that. Even its Ghost with those first bloods. Although it's only one, the one that I saw really helped them out a lot. They always get those impact kills when necessary, whether it's pushing up when that spike is down. You see that value start to come through. So a lot of individual success that we're seeing from a lot of these players. If you can tighten up that teamwork, you're going to see those start to spell out a few more rounds in your favor. But a solid game nonetheless. Both sides, they put in the effort. One just came out on top.
And I'm excited to see what Central York can do from some of their post-plant setup. It feels like they got the plants down more often than not. Just working from that baseline is already a good job. So obviously for these two teams, they start on different routes, but I guess this is the best time to lose, right? In week number 1, where you have a lot of time to move on from that. And, you know, for Central Bucks South, we talk about a team that it feels like their esports teams are just winning all across every single one of their esports titles. So cool to see them winning here too in Valorant.
Yeah, I mean, for the other side, Central York, we talked about it earlier, but it's only up from here, right? Even if you maybe get a 13-1 next game or a 13-0, it's okay. You're working on this, you're growing, and we know that you have it in you to at least bring these games a little bit closer. We saw those flashes of brilliance. Now, string them together, and you're going to get more than just that 2-round stretch. You could very well punish a team that's trying to get too over-aggressive on you, or when you're seeing that opportunity, they'll actually be able to capitalize on it. So good stuff from both sides. Obviously, one team's got to come out the winner, and it was Central Bucks South this time. We will have another matchup, though, coming up very, very shortly. So keep your eyes peeled. The stream will not be ending. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, more Valorant action brought to you by the PIEA and TEC. We'll see you soon.